Asian Paints or another association. This is, I think, 4th year, sir. This is the 4th event that I'm doing for Asian Paints. I'm very, very happy to be associated with Asian Paints and Asian Paints or TractorEmulsion Varnamaalai book. நான் ஆக்சுவலி ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேட்கும்போது எனக்கு புரியல என்ன சொல்ல வராங்க. சரி வந்தாங்க, போட்டோஸ் எடுத்தாங்க, போயிட்டாங்க. பட் எஸ், வென் ஐ saw the final output of it, உண்மையில ரொம்ப இம்ப்ரெசிவா இருக்கு. பிகாஸ் எங்க வீடு நார்மலா ஒரு ஷேட்ல தான் இருக்கு, ஆனா இத்தனை ஷேட்ல பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கே ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருக்கு. ஸோ எனக்கே இவ்வளோ ஈஸியா இருக்கும் போது நம்ம மக்களுக்கும் ரொம்ப ஈஸியா ஒரு கலர் ஷேடா இருக்கட்டும், கலர் காம்பினேஷனா இருக்கட்டும், நமக்கு என்ன வேணும் ஏது வேணும்னு உங்களுக்கு பார்த்து படம் போட்டே காட்டிட்டாங்க பாத்தீங்களா. ஸோ நமக்கு ஈஸியா இருக்கும் இல்ல, நமக்கு மட்டும் இல்ல, எல்லாரும் வீடு கட்டுறவங்களுக்கு ஒரு ஆசை என்னன்னா வீடு பார்க்கும்போது அழகா பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா இருக்கணும். ஸோ அது பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா ஆக்குறதுக்கு மெயின் திங் நமக்கு வீடு கட்டினதுக்கு அப்புறம் தேவை பெயிண்டிங். ஸோ அந்த பெயிண்டிங் அந்த கலர்ஸ் பர்ஃபெக்டா இருந்தா அந்த வீடு ரொம்ப பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா இருக்கும். நம்ம வீட்டுக்கு போன உடனே ஒரு பாசிட்டிவ் வைப்ரேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கும். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு கன்ஃபியூஷன் எல்லாமே ரொம்ப அழகா ஒரு பர்ஃபெக்ட் கைடு நமக்கு கொடுத்துருக்காங்க கலர் காம்பினேஷன். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு வேணும்னா கடைக்கு போயிட்டு ஏஷியன் பெயிண்ட்ஸ்ல தையல் வீட்டில் என்னென்ன காம்பினேஷன் இருக்கு நீங்க கேட்கணும், அப்போ கொடுத்துருவாங்க. சரியா? தேங்க்யூ.
கண்டிப்பா. I believe colors have quiet powers. They like it enhances mood and it gives many ideas, and it plays a major role in everyone's life on this earth especially. At the same time, this Asian Paints team நந்தினி வீட்டுக்கு ஒரு நந்தினி மாதிரியே ரொம்ப ஸ்ட்ராங்கான ஒரு பொறுமையா லைக் காம் அண்ட் கம்பேஷனாக இருக்கிற ஒரு கலர்ஸ் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஐ எம் ரியலி ஹாப்பி ஃபார் த டீம். இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அழகான ஒரு பேலட், யாருக்கும் கன்ஃபியூஷன் ஆகாமல் இந்த மாதிரி தான் கலர் வேணும், இப்படி தான் வேணும்னு கண்டுபிடிச்சி, இப்போ ரெகுலர் சீரியல் பார்க்குறவங்களுக்கு தான் ஒரு ஐடியா இருக்கும், ஓ இந்த மாதிரி தான் எங்கள் வீடு இருக்கணும்னு. ஆஸ் யூஷுவல் சைத்ரா அக்கா சொன்ன மாதிரி அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு அழகா யாருக்கும் கன்ஃபியூஷன் இல்லாம ஒரு கலர் இப்படியே வேணும் இதுதான் வேணும்னு கேட்கறதுக்கு அதுக்கு அழகா பேர் வச்சு நந்தினி வீட்டு கலரு, தையல் வீட்டு கலர் வேணும்னு கேட்குற மாதிரி அழகா கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஐ எம் ரியலி ஹாப்பி ஃபார் திஸ் அண்ட் தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச் சார். தேங்க்யூ ஸோ மச்.
தேங்க்யூ ரெண்டு பேருக்குமே. அண்ட் ஐ எம் ஷுர் கையல் அண்ட் நந்தினி வந்து
ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் ஐ திங்க் வாட் ஐ எம் வெரி ஹாப்பி இஸ் தட் தி two beautiful ladies have really appreciated Varnamaalai genuinely in terms of what they feel about it, in terms of the way it has come in. And I think what has really gone around this is something which is a lot of research, which possibly gave us all the insights in terms of what we need to incorporate, and the insight about saying that TV serials are very, very strong source of an inspiration in terms of what comes in, and people not only relate to the serials but relate to the characters in a very strong way. But I think behind that there was the whole area of the inspiration, what people are taking from culture, what people are taking from the history, and that I think has been a very, very interesting find in terms of looking at what we have unveiled. One of the areas which came out which was very clear was that when we look at this entire area, we find that people take inspiration from various things which are coming, various traditions, even the whole area of the colors they choose for a sari, the colors they kind of really adorn their fabrics, I think has been a very, very big area. Textiles in Tamil Nadu is a very big area of inspiration, and textiles form a very big zone in terms of finding our inspiration in terms of what we have seen. We studied in terms of what are the patterns, what are the things which are happening, because Asian Paints also makes fabrics and furnishings in terms of what we do to that extent, and it became very interesting to us to see that this was a very big source of inspiration which was coming as what people were appropriating. The second area which came in was that people were looking at shying away from the darker shades which possibly have adorned us, and today we always used to joke that when you are flying into Chennai and from the plane which you see so many houses which are with dark shades which kind of come into that extent. And what we found out is that today across the length and breadth of Tamil Nadu, people are shifting towards more the softer and the pastel shades which are there, and that is also coming from the whole area of looking at a little bit of socio-economic circumstances. People are seeking more calmness, people are seeking more peace in terms of their lives, and people are looking at the softer palettes becoming far more important to them in terms of how they would kind of really construe it. Not only this, what we also saw that the whole area of how to use the darker shades and how to use the lighter shades was itself becoming a very big science in terms of what people were appropriating, and that was a big story in terms of how it was unfolding in terms of what people were using to that extent, and therefore there was a right place in terms of what possibly people could use a darker shade. It could be niches, it could be accents in terms of where they would use, and they would use the softer palettes in terms of which possibly come in between to that extent. So that was the second finding. The third finding was that today people are really interested in looking at combinations, because no longer the houses are made of only one color. There was a time when one color used to adorn the entire house, which is from the dining room to the living room and other places to that extent. And now what we see is that within the same room, people tend to use two colors to that extent, and that story kind of extends to the entire home and the house to that extent. And that is a very, very interesting insight which came in, which meant very clearly that people were hungry for looking at what are the combinations which will go best today in terms of looking. So if I am using a slighter hue of ivory, what will go with that ivory, which will sit perfectly with that ivory to accentuate the room in a very different kind of a decor to that extent. So I think that story which came out very, very strongly to that extent in terms of people using multiple colors, at the same time people looking at seeing that within the same room they can use combinations which can come into that extent. And the last area which came in, which was also very, very interesting, was that today 40% of the online searches which people are doing are about color. Okay, and that's a very fascinating thing, that today we would think that people are looking at just the overall houses, rooms and so on and so forth. Today people are looking at some of those areas very, very intricately, and 40% of the people, as I said, are looking at colors, and that gave us an indication how the exciting part of color can be really very, very important if we were to come out with something which really helps the people in terms of giving a guidance towards their decor and color combinations to that extent. So I think these were some of the motivations which came, which coupled with the fact that today TV becomes a very, very big medium of reach. At the same time, today the serials become a very big inspiration story, so that they get the intuitive colors from people, they get inspiring colors, and that is something which has become the larger motivation for us in terms of looking at unfolding the whole area of Tractor Varnamaalai.
Thank you,
Varnamaalai for the very first time. This is a shade guide which is based on Tamil Nadu's culture, history and color. Asian Paints has always seen that color brings a certain set of emotions, and we try to marry these emotions in terms of looking at the whole area of culture and the innovation around it in terms of what we can bring. So this is the first time we are unveiling this exciting shade guide, which kind of harnesses shade combinations which can be a guide to people in terms of what they can use. It also is something which we are using TV serials as a very big source of inspiration which comes in along with the three main characters which kind of really adorn, which is Kayal, Nandini and Meenakshi Mahesh, in terms of from the popular serials which they kind of work in. And we feel that today this would be a gold mine for people to really get help in terms of how they can bring the tradition, culture of Tamil Nadu, take inspiration from the combinations in terms of what we have given, and really adorn their house and make them beautiful for really everyone to really appreciate and really find something which is very, very unique for their homes.